Let's make sure we are live. We are live, yes. Let's see if we are live. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Live streaming, start, allow. So there it is. Make sure that we are live. We are live streaming. Let's just double check and make sure we have one more. And okay, is the sound working? Let's hear. Sound's not working. Is the sound working and my volume's not working? The volume's up. Is the sound working and my volume is not working? There we go. It's my computer. All right, very, very good. Is the sound working and your volume is not working? There we go. All right, very, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. This is the way that gaming and real estate works. It is nonstop, ladies and gentlemen. I jump from one thing to the next, and I'm always trying to beat the clock. Everybody, welcome to Online Real Estate School Incorporated, ladies and gentlemen. This is the quickest hour in real estate, and I bring this class to everybody every Monday at 6 p.m. to introduce those students who are searching for a real estate school to understand what to expect in a class, what you want to try to accomplish in the class, and to give you a little bit better understanding of the instructor of this school. I run this free class. So this is the free live streaming real estate class that I run every Monday at 6 p.m. And I want to welcome everyone here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to announce our newest location. We just opened up a new school in Pittsburgh, and the address is 429 4th Avenue. We're going to be Suite 300, Pittsburgh, PA. And so this is going to be adding to our Philadelphia location and our newest Pittsburgh location so that we can serve the students. This is a live streaming class, ladies and gentlemen. It's very hard for a student in Pittsburgh to go to a school in Philadelphia. And so some areas of Pennsylvania, like Erie and Scranton and so forth, there's not a local school to be found for miles from those locations. And so I understand that Pittsburgh hasn't had quite the fame on real estate classes. And so I decided that it's time for Online Real Estate School to hit both parts of the state. So I'm very happy to announce our newest location, 429 4th Avenue, Suite 300, Pittsburgh, PA 15219. And that will be on top of our locations in Philadelphia as well, which is 6044 Castor Avenue, Suite 201. Philadelphia, PA 19149. We are moving our locations around, ladies and gentlemen, since the pandemic, and finally getting out of some of our leases, that buildings I couldn't even use during the pandemic. Since the pandemic, we have decided to become the premier live streaming real estate school. This way here, you get to see me, talk to me, ask me questions just as if you were sitting in the classroom without any of this disruptors, nobody coughing or sneezing or sniffling or anything like that next to you. That's a distraction that will distract you. And you're going to be concerned today about these coughing and sneezing and hacking issues. We don't take them as lightly as we used to. So having a live streaming platform to come to in the comforts of your home, the comforts of your office, or wherever your location would be, even work. I have some of my students who are multitasking. They're working and in the class at the same time. The live streaming platform makes the learning experience much more accessible for you. The other thing about my school, once you pay for my school, you never have to pay for it again, ladies and gentlemen. You may come back to the class over and over and over again, free of charge, anytime you like, which I believe I'm one of the few schools, if not the only school, that offers this as well. So I tried to make the classes affordable. I tried to make the classes interactive, and the virtual class seems to have accomplished a lot over the last 2 years. And so if you read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen, you will see that the students absolutely love the platform. They love the homework assignments that we put together. The homework assignments do two things. They help you in the long-term memory course that we apply in this class, and it also preps you to take your exam. So our homework assignments are like taking the state exam. And since you get to do this homework assignment Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 3 days a week our class, since this homework assignment is really like an exam, a prep exam, when it comes time to take in the state exam, you will treat it as a homework assignment. You won't treat it like a state exam. So you won't be adding a lot of pressure to yourself. You won't be putting a lot of anxiety and stress into the equation. Because of the way that we designed our school, we designed it to prep you to pass the exam. But we also designed this class to teach you how to run a real estate business. And this would be the elementary school for you, this 75-hour program. After you're done this 75-hour program, then you might want to go and affiliate yourself with a broker who is supposed to teach you the real estate business. And what we decided to do, ladies and gentlemen, since we are an educational facility, is we have a brokerage now, ISS Realty, and we designed this brokerage just as the high school to your elementary school. So after you pass the state exam, then we bring you on to this. Again, this is just for those students who would like to affiliate themselves with this. We'll teach you how to interview brokers and so forth. We'll talk about that in 1 minute. But this school and the brokerage that we put together takes the students after they pass the state exam and puts them right in the field, ladies and gentlemen, working with clients, working with the contracts. I had the pleasure of taking out one of the agents with me yesterday while we took a client out to see 5 different properties. And I show the clients and my students what to look for in a property, what environmental issues, what structural issues, what water issues, and so forth we need to look for in the property so that the buyer understands what they're receiving in this property, so they're getting that representation that they need. And I also teach my agents how to deal with the contracts, how to understand the contracts, how to represent. So we're in the middle of a home inspection on one. I was hoping to be submitting an offer on another, but sometimes it might not work out as far as the number goes. And my client really liked the property that they liked and saw on Sunday, but it turns out it might be just a little outside her comfort zone as far as the monthly payments go. So even though she really loved the payment, even though she really loves the property, she is making a prudent move to be on the side of caution when it comes to the monthly payments. She doesn't want to overextend herself. So I understand that as well. So in the real estate business, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the rest of your life for the most part. This is, once you have a real estate license, you have a golden ticket. You'll never be broke. You'll never be unemployed. Work will come to you. Income will come to you. And that is the great thing about the real estate business. But for somebody like me, who's an educator and an instructor and a professor, it's a non-stop game of constantly teaching, constantly educating, constantly instructing. And so I am not crying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying that I took on this challenge, and it is a challenge to be 24/7 instructing from the classroom to the fields into the real estate arena. And so it doesn't stop. Today, Mondays is the big day for me in the real estate arena because it is training for all the agents. We all get together on Monday. We go over everything that we learned, especially if the agents went out with me over the weekend to see properties. And we want to make sure that they understand how to do all the paperwork that will be involved, from the consumer notice all the way down to the co-op letter. And so it's a little bit of a routine, but it is a routine. Once you do it 2 or 3 times, just like anything else in life, ladies and gentlemen, you get very familiar with it. And so it'll be a routine for you. So let's see. I see that we hey, will there be a free class start soon? On Instagram. IG is not streaming. So you might want to use some of the other. So let's do this. Let's do this. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the multitasking never stops. You got to do 2 or 3 things at the same time in the real estate arena. IG is not streaming. You might want to use other. All right, very good. So, and that's how this business works, ladies and gentlemen. Very active, very busy from morning to evening, but life is good when you're very active and productive. You're helping other people, clients, students, at yourself. And so it's a very rewarding business, very busy, and that's good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some of the realities. HGTV is very motivational, and it does give you the benefits of real estate. It would be nice if everything happened in a half-an-hour episode from beginning to end, from rehab to property sold. But you do have to understand that the things that you see on HGTV are for the limelight, to the spotlight, to show you the best of the best that could happen in the real estate arena. And that's what I teach. I want to make sure that if you understand what you need to do from beginning to end, then you will enjoy the limelight of the business and the rewards of the business. So Online Real Estate School is designed to not only help you and prep you to pass the exam, but we're also going to teach you how to run a real estate business. We're going to teach you how to invest in property legally and ethically. And there is a thing legally, because we'll talk about assignments, we'll talk about flips, we'll talk about no money down deal, and we'll talk about the legality of these things: the assignment, the assumption, the flip, and so the no money down deal. You're going to see that many of those things don't exist, at least not the way that you perceive they exist. For instance, a contract in the state of Pennsylvania has to have 3 different ingredients. The contract has to have dates. Everybody's got a date. Everybody's got to sign. So signatures is the second ingredient. And the third ingredient for a contract is consideration. Consideration. You ever see a property transfer for $1 in the state of Pennsylvania? Well, that $1 made it a legal transaction. There is really no such thing as a no money down deal. The reason that there is no such thing as a no money down deal is because it lacks the legal consideration of consideration. Without something of value in exchange for a promise, then the contract lacks legality. So we need 3 things for a contract in the state of Pennsylvania. We need dates, signature, and consideration. And if we don't have consideration, like a no money down deal, then we really do not have a legal contract in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, flipping a property. I've heard of these flippers who believe that they don't need a real estate license to flip a property or to help somebody, a wholesaler, retailer, flipper, and you just kind of put everybody together and make it all happen, and you were expecting some kind of compensation. You're not legally allowed to have that compensation. In the real estate arena, to practice real estate without a license is a criminal offense in the state of Pennsylvania. And when you get to the settlement table, the title company is not authorized to compensate or release funds to anyone who's not licensed to legally receive the compensation. So if you believe, because you take these investment classes, that you can wholesale retail a property without ever taking ownership of that property, the deed's never going to be in your name, and you can work as a middle person in between the buyer and the seller, well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what that is? That's you being a licensed real estate professional without a real estate license. So you're trying to accommodate a buyer and a seller, put it together, and pretend that you are in some way or another formalizing this deal. Therefore, you're entitled to compensation. Well, the buyer and the sellers can agree to whatever they want, ladies and gentlemen. But again, the title company is the paralegal in the real estate business. And when we get to that final settlement, that wholesaler, that flipper, is expecting compensation, but they're not going to get it. When are they going to have to do their compensation arrangement? After settlement in the parking lot with their clients. Then they're trying to get compensation for whatever arrangement they believe they had with the buyer and the seller, and good luck with that. But you can already see how slim shady it already feels, because you couldn't get paid at the table, not legally, and now you're in the parking lot trying to get compensation for this wholesale, retail, or flipping investment deal that you were talked into doing in an investment book. I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, investment books do not deal with state-specific requirements. And if you're reading an investment book where the author's out in California, or you're reading an investment book where the author's out in Las Vegas, that has nothing to do with Pennsylvania. So you have to understand that Pennsylvania requires that you take 2 courses, real estate practice and real estate fundamentals, in order to qualify to take the state exam. So let's talk about real estate practice and real estate fundamentals, because it is a common question. What is real estate practice? What is real estate fundamentals? And it's very easy. Real estate fundamentals deals with the law, federal law, state law, local law. Then we have other laws like the American Disability Act, contract law, agency law, fair housing laws, and so forth. So real estate fundamentals deals with all the legal aspects of the real estate arena and representing and the contract and so forth. So the state requires you to have at least 30 to 40 hours in this arena of law, real estate fundamentals, federal law, state law, local law, and then we have a bunch of other laws like contract law, agency law, fair housing law, discrimination laws, and also the American Disability Act laws as well. So you need to know who's a protected class, who's not a protected class. And in order to be a real estate professional, having a fundamental understanding of what you can and cannot do in the real estate arena is one of the requirements that the state wants you to understand in order to receive your real estate license. So that takes care of fundamentals, is the law. But real estate practice is literally dealing with the client, taking the client out, showing the client properties, working the contract, representing them through the hoops of the contract, and so forth. It's not major, ladies and gentlemen, but there is a knowledge of understanding that you have to have, that the Real Estate Commission requires, so that you can become a licensed real estate professional and have a general understanding of how to represent a buyer, a seller, a landlord, a tenant, an investor, and so forth. So having real estate practice deals with the contracts, deals with the client, deals with the arena, deals with the day-to-day activities of the real estate arena. So now you have your real estate practice and your real estate fundamentals, and the state feels that 75 hours of this kind of training is sufficient to give you the basics that you need to get started in a real estate business. When you pass the state exam and receive or pass the state exam, once you pass the state exam, you become a licensed real estate professional in the state of Pennsylvania. Once you pass that state exam, what you need to do thereafter is figure out where you want to work, what you want to do. There are many avenues that you can take, ladies and gentlemen, once you pass the state exam. You can go to work for a brokerage. Many brokers out there. You see the real estate shops, the real estate signs, the franchises, and so forth. There are many out there. So you could choose to take that avenue and work for a broker, which will probably be the most money that you will ever receive in your lifetime through real estate commissions. Or you could choose to go other avenues. You can choose to go Fortune 500, Fortune 100, all the way to Fortune 500. Many companies, Walmart, Pep Boys, McDonald's, and so forth, they are all in the real estate arena, ladies and gentlemen. They can't really have their business without real estate, restaurants to come to, Home Depots to come to, Walmarts to come to. Yes, we can order a lot of things online, but it's hard to order a Big Mac online and have that delivered. Yes, we have Grubhub, this is true, but the McDonald's knows that they can't rely on Grubhub for their business. That's a small piece of their business and they're happy to have that, but it's a delivery service. Without the delivery service, you still would need to come to the restaurant, come to the store, come to the establishment to finish what you need to do, your shopping and so forth. So you could become and work for a Fortune 500 company in their real estate department. Now, that's another avenue that many people don't understand that they could pursue. Now you've got a salary plus commission plus benefits, but without the real estate license, that opportunity doesn't present itself. There are other avenues that you can go after passing the exam as well, ladies and gentlemen. You could go to work for a developer. There are many developers building new houses and they are not need to be licensed to be a developer, but they do need a real estate license to sell the properties that they have just built. And that's where, once again, you come in. The developer would need you, the licensed real estate professional, to sell the properties that they have just built. So we have the brokerage, we have a Fortune 500 company, we have a development, but there are still other avenues that you can pursue, like franchises, ladies and gentlemen. Wawa is expanding all up and down the East Coast, ladies and gentlemen, and they're always looking for licensed real estate agents in their REO department. And so understand that you have lots of opportunities. You could also become your own investor, investing in real estate. And by taking my class, you will understand the difference between a general warranty deed, a special warranty deed, a bargain and sale deed, and a quitclaim deed. Let me give you a quick class on that. General warranty deed is the best deed that you can have. This is called title insurance, ladies and gentlemen. And title insurance is the only thing in the state of Pennsylvania. Title insurance is the only thing that we can use as evidence of marketable title, which means when the seller sells the buyer the property, the seller is assuring that there's no liens, no judgments, no encumbrances on that deed that would hinder the new buyer's ownership of the property. So title insurance says that the deed is good. There's nothing to worry about. If there is a problem, the title company will insure and defend your right to remain in that property. So title insurance. So the best form of title insurance that one could have is known as a general warranty deed. And we'll talk about that in 1 second. What's a deed and a title and so forth. We'll talk about that in 1 second. So general warranty deed is what you want. Sometimes the property might be an estate where the owners have already passed away, but an executor, an executress, a trustor, a trustee, somebody else may sell the property to settle the estate, even though the owners of the property have passed. This would be known as a special warranty deed, just as good as a general warranty deed, except the person who's selling the property's name was not on the deed, but they did have the legal right to sell the property. So now you're going to be receiving what's called a special warranty deed. When you buy properties at auction, foreclosures, and so forth, then you're going to receive what's called a bargain and sale deed. Notice there's no word warranty in it, which means we don't have title insurance on this property. So when you bid on a property on an auction and you don't know what that deed says, in Philadelphia, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh, ladies and gentlemen, those junior liens that are against the property do not get wiped out. In the counties, Bucks County, Montgomery County, Warren County, Clinton County, Luzerne County, it doesn't matter, all the counties of Pennsylvania, junior liens are wiped out at an auction, but not Philadelphia, not Harrisburg, not Pittsburgh. Why? Because PUC, which is the Public Utility Commission, got together with city council members of these three areas and said, look, we cannot afford to have our utility liens wiped out in a foreclosure process. We're losing too much money. And if we continue to lose this money in these auctions, we're going to have to raise our fees for everybody. So what PUC and city council coming up with a conclusion would be in Philadelphia, in Harrisburg, in Pittsburgh, when you buy property at auction, junior liens like the water bill, the gas bill, the electric bill, and others, child support issues, and so forth, they're not wiped out when you buy these property at auction. So when you buy this property and you don't know what the deed says, and there's three other liens against this property that you bid on, you're also buying those liens. So in my class, we go over the auction process, the difference between a tax sale and a foreclosure sale. And what is it? One, we have a statutory right of redemption, which is after effect, and equitable right of redemption, which is before. So before my property's foreclosed on by the bank, I can do equitable right of redemption, which means I have a right to try to work with the bank, see if I can make some kind of payment arrangements so they don't do a foreclosure. That's called equitable right of redemption. Statutory right of redemption is rights that you have after the foreclosure. And so we'll talk about that in the class. So that gives us three of the four. We got the general warranty deed, the special warranty deed, we have the bargain and sale deed, which you get when you buy property at auction. And the last one, ladies and gentlemen, is called the quitclaim deed. And the quitclaim deed provides the least protection of any deed. All a quitclaim deed transfers, ladies and gentlemen, is interest. You see this abandoned row home here? I'm going to be transferring my interest to you under a quitclaim deed. And if you don't understand this deed, you could get snookered into buying a property where you actually don't have the deed to the property, but instead you bought all the liens on that property instead of the deed, because what you bought was a transfer of interest, not a transfer of ownership under a quitclaim deed. So we talk about these things, and if you really want to be a real estate investor, you really want to be a real estate representative, then the best platform for you is to take this state mandated required class so that you know what you can and cannot legally do in the state of Pennsylvania when it comes to real estate. So before jumping into an investment class, ladies and gentlemen, this platform, this should be your starting point. This is what the state wants you to understand. The state wants you to understand what you can and cannot do. So it's always wise to invest in this platform so that you have the best knowledge to start out with before you start going to investment classes and get snookered into dreams of visions of grandeur. And that's what these investment classes will do, ladies and gentlemen. They're designed to do just that. They're designed to sell you books, tapes, seminars, programs, follow-up, coaching, mentoring on all this. They're designed to do that. So no fault of the investment class. They were not designed to educate you. They were designed to teach you techniques that you might be able to use out there in the field when you're trying to accumulate investment. Techniques, ladies and gentlemen. Are these techniques legal in the state of Pennsylvania? Well, now taking this class, you would see clearly that after you took this class and you took an investment class, you would clearly see that a lot of these things, especially buying property under a quitclaim deed, is probably the best no-go that you could possibly have. It's time to walk away. This is not an investment. You're not going to own the property. So the 4 deeds that we talk about, the general warranty deed, the special warranty deed, the bargain and sale deed, and the quitclaim deed, is knowledge that you absolutely should have before you ever decide to buy a property. Now, let's talk a little bit about title and deed, ladies and gentlemen, because you hear title and deed all the time. What's the difference between a title? What's the difference between a deed? We sell vehicles by title, but we sell property by deed. And so what is title? Title is the process of making sure the deed is good. It starts with a title search, then an abstract of title, a title certification, title insurance, and then a transfer to property. So there's a procedure to make sure that the deed, there's no liens, no judgments, no encumbrances on it. And the title search and the title process is verifying that the deed is good and marketable, that the buyer can buy the property and take the property and legally do what they want with that property, because they have the assurance of knowing that it is theirs with no liens or judgments against that. So there is a process of understanding how to buy property. The deed, the deed, the deed. Those who know me, all my students know those 3 words, the deed, the deed, the deed. So if you want to start investing in property, understand it's not the 4 walls, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the building that you are concerned with. It's the legal ownership of that property. Can the buyer legally do with this property they want to do after they buy it? So let's talk about that right there. Let's say somebody wants to buy a single family residential property and convert it into a duplex or a triplex. They would not be able to do that because the property is zoned for residential, single family. And so you, as the licensed professional or the investor, should know the zoning of the property. What is the property currently zoned? What can I do with the property? If I want to turn it into a duplex or a triplex, what do I have to do? And that would be changing the zoning. So we would be going through a zoning board. We would then throw the orange sticker on the building, informing the public that we will be having a public hearing to talk about what we would like to change this building for. So these public hearings allow the neighbors to say yay or nay to these designed zoning request changes. And then if everything goes well, ladies and gentlemen, then you will receive a variance. The variance is relief. So now we can take this single family property and legally turn it into a duplex or triplex. But without the variance, without the zoning, then you won't be able to take a single family property and turn it into a duplex or a triplex, not legally. So this class is designed to teach you how to represent not only yourself as an investor, but others as well, to guide them through the investment process or the buying and selling. I love and I teach my students how to work with first-time buyers. First-time buyers are pretty much my favorite. I've been doing this a very long time, ladies and gentlemen, and to this day, I still enjoy working with the first-time buyers for many reasons. But you, as a new real estate agent, just starting out your new business, first-time buyers don't care that you're a brand new agent. They don't care that you've been licensed a day, a week, a month, a year. They're going to treat you like you've been doing this for 30 years because this is their first time going through the process of buying a home. So they're going to rely on you. But the best thing about first-time buyers is they are very appreciative and they will refer you to others, their coworkers, their family, their friend. And that means your real estate business now has word of mouth and referral. So you don't have to spend money on marketing when your clients are bringing you in additional clients. And so we talk about this in the class. And once you learn how to run a real estate business, controlling our expenses and understanding what we want to try to make each year, then having a repertoire of clients that continually refer you to others is a great form of business. This is called the referral business or the word of mouth business, and a lot of agents rely on their clients referring them to others. And so we'll talk about it. I'll show you ways in the class, ladies and gentlemen, through different programs, through the Community Reinvestment Act, one program like the Good Neighbor program, you could buy a property at a 50% discount. So how does that work? Well, the property has to be located in a certain area called the Community Reinvestment Area. And it's not a dilapidated area, ladies and gentlemen. This is the lively area because the market is springing up here because you can buy property at a 50% discount. So certain occupations and different programs that the banks run will allow you, like a Good Neighbor program, to buy a property at a 50% discount. So here's how it works. Briefly, I'll teach you more in the class. Let's say that the property is $200,000, fair market value, $200,000, and you buy it for $200,000. The bank under the Community Reinvestment Act will give you two loans, one for $100,000 and another for $100,000, equal to $200,000 for the property. You will make your payments only on the one mortgage, the $100,000. If you make your payments on time for 3 years, the second $100,000 loan is forgiven. So therefore, you just bought a $200,000 property for $100,000, and 4 years later, you can turn around and sell that. Once again, even if the property didn't even go up in value, even if it didn't go up in value, you just made $100,000 on this property. You can now turn around and sell it for the $200,000 and walk away with $100 grand in your pocket. Real estate, ladies and gentlemen, always teach my students, get your hands on that property. The first property is usually the hardest, but I'll show you and teach you and walk you right through the process of buying your first home. As a matter of fact, not only will I help you buy your first home, but there's usually a lot of grant money available, like the Philly First grant, where we have $10,000 available to the first-time buyer who is buying a property, so that you can literally get into a property with no money out of your pocket, literally. Seller assist plus the $10,000 grant. You don't need any money. You just got yourself a new property, a new home. You are in the real estate business, and you didn't learn this from any investment class, that's for sure. You learned this from a legal class that tells you what the banks are offering to potential buyers. So under the Community Reinvestment Act, there are many, many, many programs to get involved with the bank, where the bank will give you the money to buy the property and even forgive the loans quite often in these programs. So we have grant money available, we have special programs available. And when you take this class, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go over all these options. Some options, just like making your mortgage payment. Most people have no idea how to make their mortgage payments. I'll teach you in my class the proper way to make your mortgage payments, where you save thousands of dollars every year simply by making your mortgage payments the correct way. So it's a kind of a financial class included, because I'm going to be teaching you how to run a real estate business. And without knowing the financial aspects of it and the advantages to you, then it might handicap you a little bit. So it's great to have this class because it's giving you all these facets that you would need to incorporate into your real estate business, so that you can offer these services to others and teach them how to do what you are now learning how to do. And so there are many avenues in the investment world that we can go. So now let's talk about a few other things, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you this question. Here's the big question I always ask everybody. When you buy a property here in Pennsylvania and you get a 30-year mortgage, do you own that property day one, or do you own that property 30 years later when you make your final payment? And so what we talk about is lien theory states and title theory states. And in a lien theory state like Pennsylvania, the bank only has a lien on the property. Their name's not on the deed. So in Pennsylvania, the answer to my question, When you buy a property in Pennsylvania and you get a 30-year mortgage, do you own that property day one? Or do you own that property 30 years later when you make your final payment? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is day one. You get the deed day one. Do not get the deed and the mortgage confused. There's two separate instruments, the deed and the mortgage. The deed is ownership of the property. The mortgage is a loan. So don't get them mixed up. The mortgage doesn't have anything to do with the deed. So here in Pennsylvania, when you buy a property, you get the deed day one. So what? You got a 30-year loan. That is nothing compared to the ownership of the property. So having just this first little bit of knowledge of understanding that the deed is a unilateral contract. Yeah, see, here's another thing that you should know. When you buy property and you're the buyer of the property, you don't sign the deed. You will receive the deed and become the owner of the property, but you don't sign it. Only the grantor, the giver, or the seller of the property signs the deed, not the receivee, the grantee, or the buyer. They don't sign the deed. Only the seller signs the deed, not the buyer. And so probably didn't know that. And you will learn these things in my class as well. So there are many aspects of real estate that you probably have no idea of just yet until you take the 75-hour class. And then after taking this 75-hour class, you will be surprised. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, after the very first day of my class, after the first 4 hours of my class, you will know more about real estate than you ever thought imaginable just after the first day in my class. So my class, ladies and gentlemen, because time is ticking, it's almost 6:45. It was already 45 minutes. The hour just keeps going by so quickly. So in my class, it is a live streaming class. It's by a Zoom platform, just like this, just like you're looking at right now, where you get to see me, talk to me, ask me questions. And in my class, since it's a live streaming platform, I offer two different classes. I have a morning class, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 to 1. And I also offer an evening class, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 6 to 10. I have two classes remaining this year, ladies and gentlemen. And if you were following my show 2 weeks ago, when I told you I had two classes remaining, and I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be running this school again next year, blah, blah, blah. How do you handle adversity? How do you handle these problems? Well, you know how I handled it, ladies and gentlemen? 2 weeks ago, I wasn't sure if I was going to be running this class again next year. And then I decided to open up a new school in Pittsburgh in that little bit of period. And guess what? Looks like we will be around for a little bit. So that's how I handle my adversities. When I'm not sure about something, I always try to go in a positive direction and force myself to stick it out. Do what you got to do. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little boo-hoo in a little bit. Look at me looking for attention. Right. So every now and then it gets to be a little bit stressful for me. And so sometimes I don't have that uppity spirit. And I could feel it. I could feel that sometimes maybe the show was a little bummer, a little depressing. And I do apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's human, but sometimes it could be a little pressure, just like now. Mondays is a tough day, and I'm always trying to beat the clock. And I was talking to a bunch of students, potential students, just before the class started, trying to get them their links so that they could be in this free class. It's always beating the clock for me, ladies and gentlemen, like right now, I'm trying to beat the clock right now. So let's do this. I want you to hear from some of my other students, ladies and gentlemen, as you are trying to decide if this is going to be the right school for you. Let's see if this helps out a little bit.
Well, this school was the only school with 5-star reviews. I did a lot of research.
The information that you give us is just like amazing. I think like most of everybody in the class, it was the reviews for me.
After reading your reviews and just trusting my friend, he said, you're 100% the way to go. And I do not regret it at all whatsoever.
Your school is amazing.
I came to you, it was within my expectations.
And the broker knows like, okay, this person, wherever they're going to school, that they know what they're doing. Once I talked to you and spoke to you, I was just like, okay, I think this is the right school.
Personally, I have a very good friend that's actually in the real estate business already a broker. He actually recommended you to be a teacher.
Like, served as a mentor, just as many others have said. So it's been a pleasure. It really has. You care about all your students.
He's more than a teacher. He's a mentor. He's someone you look up to.
And you're a great teacher, to be honest with you. You slow down when people have a question. You review things as many times as we need you to.
But you take your time. You actually read to get to know and understand it. And I am so ready. I thank you, and I would take this class over and over and over and over and over.
One of the best teachers ever.
This would be really good for me. And then I think what really pulled me in was once I talked to you on the phone.
I did see the 5-star review. I did look around a little bit.
I mentioned you and your school is like, for me, a lot of people know about your school.
And I was a little bit skeptical because 5-star reviews, no business, no nothing as 5-star reviews. But it worked out amazing, and I'm happy I chose this school.
But the information that you give, that you get more than a lot of teachers out there give. Oh, absolutely. I think the school actually really went beyond my expectations.
I cannot thank you enough for the experience and just preparation to run my own business.
It's like more information that you give us, the more knowledge I just lock that into my brain, and I know I'm just going to get out there and achieve a lot of things. Working with you has been a pleasure. It really has. You like served as a mentor.
And I would definitely recommend it to anyone who is looking into any kind of real estate role.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. My number, 267-972-1084. My school has a very nice reputation. Other brokers are absolutely wanting to send their potential new agents to my school. And the reason is, ladies and gentlemen, is because not only do I teach you how to pass the exam, I teach you how to run a real estate business. And because the brokers realize that my school goes beyond the call of duty to teach them how to run a real estate business, then they know to get much better quality candidates that come from my school. And so much so that now the brokers are almost demanding that any new potential agents they have attend my school so that they have the best platform to work with, so that they have the best agents to start out with. And so I'm very, very proud of my 5-star review, ladies and gentlemen. I worked very hard. I know one day somebody's going to come along and take that away and give me a bad review. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm just very blessed that the students are really appreciating the time and the effort that I put into their education so that they don't even consider a bad. I earned my 5 stars, ladies and gentlemen. I earned these reviews. None of these reviews are fake. I did see a couple, though, that were trying to push some Fox investment. I got to see if I can get them off there. They weren't my students. Somehow or another, they left a review, but they're really trying to sell something. I hate when they do that, but it's Google. So you got to understand this is what happens. But besides those 2 that are trying to sell some kind of investment that got on my review, I'll get them off. Every one of them are my students. Every one of them are bona fide reviews, and the students are very happy. You know what's funny, ladies and gentlemen? Some of the students that you just saw are now my competitors. They're literally with other brokers out there, and they're literally competing with me now. And so now I gave them everything they know to be a challenge for me. That is the game for me, ladies and gentlemen, to pay it forward, to teach you everything I know, everything I've learned in the last 30 years of my real estate career. Now, I started in real estate right out of high school in the timeshares. And I probably spent my first 12 years as an unlicensed real estate agent, because in my day, when I first started out, you did not need a real estate license for a lot of the things that you do need a real estate license for today. So even though I've been licensed for maybe 20 years, give or take somewhere in that, I've been in the arena for 30 years. And so this is how it started for me. And so because I've been doing this for so long, I've seen so many things, and I see history repeating itself, I can guide you and tell you what to do. Especially right now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you fair warning. What you are hearing in the media about property slowing down, home sales slowing down, I can tell you right now, it's always the opposite of really what you hear. I have never been busier right now with all the doom and gloom in the news that value real estate and everything, blah, blah, blah. It's bull. I don't even understand. It's trying to control the economy. It's trying to control spending. That's basically what it's doing. But interest rates and inflation have nothing to do with real estate, ladies and gentlemen. Let me repeat that. Interest rate and inflation has nothing to do with real estate or the price of real estate. That's not going to cause real estate to go up or down in value. Real estate has only one thing: supply and demand. And since supply is all the available properties, the inventory of properties available for sale, and demand is all those who would like to purchase the property. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a high demand. There are lots and lots of people still very interested in buying property. And so the interest rate and inflation has nothing to do with real estate, nothing to do with the value of real estate. The value of property does not go up or down based on interest rate. It might affect your ability to buy a property, but it doesn't affect the value of property and those who want to buy it. So the doom and gloom that you hear on the news, ladies and gentlemen, for somebody like me is great, because it's going to cost others to sit on the perch, to stay out of the game, waiting for better days. That's a fool's bet. But if you're foolish enough to be only as educated as the evening news, then unfortunately you will be a victim of the doom and gloom that they like to share. And now you'll sit on a perch waiting for better days, and that will open up opportunities for others who don't so easily fall for the doom and gloom that you hear on the media. So the business is active, ladies and gentlemen. Pennsylvania is a vile market. It's great right now. We got a lot of exodus out of New York and New Jersey, still states like New York. People are still moving out of New York, and they're coming to Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Florida. Tennessee is running into a little bit of a crime rate. So that brings us back to Pennsylvania and Florida. Now, Pennsylvania doesn't have a big crime rate. Philadelphia, a block maybe, but no more so than ordinary. So again, the media likes to blow things up. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a midterm election coming up. So of course we had a midterm election. What we have to do is try to convince you on how to vote. And so that's what television is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Television was never meant to be anything more than a marketing platform designed to sell you something, or to persuade you, or to try to convince you to do something. That's all television was ever designed to do, ladies and gentlemen. And so if you are at the mercy of the things that you hear on television, then you will be a victim of the things that you hear on television as well. It'll hold you back. So make the decision, ladies and gentlemen, to invest in yourself. Once you have a real estate license, you'll never be broke. You'll never be unemployed. You will always have income opportunity. And that's what a real estate license does. I like the license. It's better than a PhD. It's better than a doctorate. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the educational facilities in these colleges have gone down. Almost everybody can get a PhD today. It's like everybody gets a trophy. Even if you lose, you get a trophy. Well, PhDs are a dime a dozen. You ever see that show, Are You Smarter Than a Seventh Grader? And these seventh graders are going up against PhDs, and the PhDs are looking like fools on television. And the seventh grader is much more educated than those with a PhD, because it just seems like anybody can get a PhD today, ladies and gentlemen. But what does a PhD do for you? It tells you that you have a certain amount of understanding of a certain occupation that could help you land a job. That's what a PhD does for the most part. Says that you're qualified to do this and do that. But a real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, is a license to earn compensation. Without the real estate license, you cannot receive compensation. So the real estate license, in my book, holds more financial weight than the others, because it's a license to earn income, not a license to kind of find a job that you can earn income. It is a license to earn income in the real estate arena. And so once you get a real estate license, it's a passport, it's a golden ticket. It is going to open up many, many doors, many avenues will present themselves to you because of the real estate license, ladies and gentlemen. One of my agents informed me today that a client contacted him, invited him to his boat to talk about $1 million property they want to make an offer on. See that? Without the real estate license and without being in that position and without doing the marketing that I taught them how to do, that call would have never happened. That would have never have happened. I am in the process of trying to help community, nonprofit organizations sell their real estate. Without this knowledge, I would never be able to do that, ladies and gentlemen. So the knowledge that you're going to gain from my class, paramount. The best investment you will ever make in yourself is this particular class, and a class that you've done your research on. You read the reviews of a lot of these schools, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck with that. You will see that these schools do not focus on their reviews or their students. They are basically a conveyor belt system. They're designed to do what they're designed to do. They're designed to prep you to pass an exam. That's it. That's basically all the schools are there for, is they're designed to prep you to pass an exam. If you pass, you pass. If you don't come back and pay for the class all over again and try it again. That's their motto, that's their routine. But that's not my school. My school is not only designed to prep you to pass the exam, we're going to teach you how to run a business. We're going to teach you how to be an investor. And having this knowledge makes the exam very, very easy because you have much more detailed information why this school is what it is, why we have our 5-star reviews, why we are the most referred school, why we are the highest pass-fail ratio school in the industry right now, maybe only by a couple points, but still, we are the best right now, and so I'm proud of that as well. And understand that you are doing a lot of research. I'm sure that you have called many schools and probably got an answer machine or no call back. And so I at least try to send a text. If I can't get your call, if I missed your call, I at least send you a text inviting you to this free class. Some of you might now be in this free class because of the text that you received and the link that I sent you. But this free class is designed for you, the student, to have a kind of interview process with me, the instructor, to see if my teaching style will match your learning ability. No other school does this, ladies and gentlemen. Every school could run a free class like me, but do they? Yeah, I think you know the answer to that question. So I go out of my way, even though I am extremely busy, I still manage to get this computer turned on, get the live stream up and running so that I may offer you this little bit of more research that you can add to your arsenal before you make any decision. So let's get down to business, ladies and gentlemen. I have 2 classes left this year, 2 classes, September 27th, October 25th. These are my last 2 classes this year. So if you want to become a licensed real estate professional this year, these are your 2 opportunities. I run a morning class, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday by this live streaming platform. You'll see all the other students in the class along with me in this class. So 9 to 1, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I also run an evening class, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays as well. My class, it's $598 altogether for the class, but I break it down into 2 segments. It's $299 to sign up to get started, includes all your book, for the first 4 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the following month, it's $299 for the second half of the class. And I broke it up this way, so you only have to invest $299. If you are not happy with what you're learning and what you're experiencing in the first part of the class, then you don't have to put the $299 out for the second class. So you didn't lose $598. You only invested $299. And if you're not happy, you can consider a $299 loss compared to a $598 loss. But that has not really happened in my class. There have been emergency situations where a student could not continue the class. But the best thing is, once you pay for my class, you never have to pay for it again. You may come back to the class over and over and over again, free of charge anytime you want. So this is your alma mater, ladies and gentlemen. This is your college of real estate. And I want it to be the best experience that you could possibly have. So this is my free show, ladies and gentlemen. We try to motivate you to invest in yourself. And I also try to give you a little bit of knowledge, like the 4 deeds that we talked about. You own the property day one, the difference between a title theory and a lien theory state. And there's going to be many other things that you're going to learn in this 75-hour period that's going to make you confident. That's the word. Did you see the confidence in the students that I just showed you? Not only did they have the knowledge, but they had the confidence to go out there. Some of them are my competitors. I love them. They are my competitors though, and they have that confidence now to go out there. They are now licensed. They are now in the arena. They are now making money. The most money that you'll probably ever make in your lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, is in the real estate arena. There's only a couple of things that could give you more money than real estate. We'll talk about the mortgage business. That is the global investment. The world is propped by mortgages, ladies and gentlemen. So being in the real estate arena, you will be in the top, the elite of the income brackets that you could possibly put yourself in. And all you need is 8-week class. And I give you this 8-week class, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a 3-week class. A 3-week class is designed just to prep you to pass an exam, if it does that. But no broker, no employer really wants you with a 3-week class because they know you didn't learn anything in a 3-week class. It was just a design class to prep you. The broker now knows that they got to spend a lot of time and effort to educate you because the school you went to was a 3-week class and you didn't learn hardly anything in the 3-week class, or an online course. The online course is difficult. Even though the courses are designed nicely, it's a different language. And if you don't understand the real estate language, then it's very hard to teach yourself on an online course to pass. This school, ladies and gentlemen, the virtual class settles everything. You can come back again and again and again. It's your alma mater, and it is probably going to be the best learning experience you ever had. And you see the reviews, ladies and gentlemen. The best instructor, the best experience they ever had in their life. I designed it. I put a lot of effort, a lot of work into your education to make you the best you could possibly be. So my time is expired. It's now 3 minutes after 7. So running a little late. So ladies and gentlemen, this is onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. It is a statewide class from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia and all points in between. We now have physical location in Pittsburgh, physical location in Philadelphia, and we have 2 more locations scheduled, one in Erie, Pennsylvania, and one upstate Pennsylvania as well. They'll be coming in the short future. So, as I said before, the school's making lots of moves to expand to make sure that everybody can have an opportunity for a better lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Warren Nelson. I am the instructor and director of the school. I am broker of record of ISS Realty, and so I'll be teaching you even after you get your real estate license and showing you how to make money in the real estate business. So if you are looking to become a licensed real estate professional, ladies and gentlemen, may I encourage you to make a $299 investment into yourself and really learn real estate. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. I hope to see you in my class, and I'm looking forward to making you a licensed real estate professional this year. Enjoy.